This is Elimu Learning Simplified. My name is Eric. I'll be taking you through this topic, squares and square roots. And for this lesson, we're going to look at squares by multiplication method. So we'll start by looking at, we'll be going through squares by multiplication method of decimal numbers. So after that, we'll see some few sample questions to help us practice the same concept. And of course, at the end of the lesson, we're going to give us some assignment to help us practice. So we have this, find the squares of the following numbers. So we have 1.2. So we have 1.2 squared is 1.2 times 1.2. So you simply, just like we talked about when you were talking about multiplication of decimal numbers. So you just need to count the number of decimal places here, and you add to the number of decimal places here. So one decimal place plus one decimal place is two decimal places. So our answer is going to have two decimal places. Just multiply 12 by 12 and then make sure that it has two decimal places. So 12 by 12, that is going to be, so both digits down here multiplies all the digits up there. So we have 4 by 4, 2 by 2 is 4, and 2 by 1 is 2. So when multiplying by 1, now this one we multiply by the total value, which is 10. So when multiplying by 10, again you just multiply by 1 and then you add the 0. So what I'll do, I'll add the 0 first. Then 1 by 2 is 2, and 1 by 1 is 1. Fill up the spaces left using zeros, and then you add the two products. So 4 plus 0 is 4, and 2 plus 2 is 4, and 0 plus 1 is 1. So 12 by 12 is 144. But then now what we have is 1.2 multiplied by 1.2, or remember, this is originating from 1.2 squared, which is equals to 1.2 by 1.2. So 1.2, this is 144. So where should the decimal point be, so that you have two decimal places? So this is where the decimal point should be, 1, 2. Remember, decimal places simply means the number of digits of the decimal point. So 1, 2. That is squares using multiplication method. So again, we have 0.25 squared. So this is 0.25. Just from the definition of square, square simply means a number multiplied by itself once. So again, 0.25. So we have two decimal places here. You add two decimal places here. This is equals to 4 decimal places. So we just multiply 25 by 25, and then we know the answer will be having 4 decimal places. So 25 by 25, again, each digit down here multiplies all the digits up there. So 5 by 5 is 25. 5 carry 2. 5 by 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. While multiplying by 2, remember, you're multiplying the total value of 2 here, which is 20. So multiplication by 20, we just multiply by 2, but then we add the 0. So what I'll do, I'll add the 0 first. Then 2 by 5 is 10. 0 carry 1. 2 by 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So you sum up the two products. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 0 is 2. And 1 plus 5 is 6. So 25 by 25 is 625. So what we have is 0. Okay, we have 0.25 squared, which is equals to 0.25 times 0.25. This is using the interpretation of the meaning of a square of a number multiplied by itself once. So this is 625. So where how many decimal places are there? 4. So we should have 0.0625. The product is 625, but then we should be inserting the decimal point in such a way that we have 4 decimal places. So that is what the square is about. Again, you have 0.37 squared. So 0.37 by 0.37. So again, 2 decimal places. 2 dps here plus 2 dps here is equals to how many dps? 4. So the we'll have 4 decimal places. So I'll just multiply 37 by 37. So 37 by 37. So 7 by 7 is 49. 9 carry 4. 7 by 3 is 21 plus 4 is 25. Then you have, now when multiplying by 3 here, we are multiplying by 30. Because that's the total value of 3 here. So multiplying by 30, you simply multiply by 3 and then I add 0. So what I'll do, I'll add the 0 first. So 3 by 7 is 21. 1 carry 2. 3 by 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. Fill up the spaces left using zeros. This is product, this is sum. We sum up the two products. So that is 9, 6, 3, 1. So what I have is 0.37 squared, which is equals to 0.37 from the definition times 0.37. So I've multiplied 37 by 37 and what I have is 1369. So where should the decimal point be so that I have 4 decimal places? So the decimal point will be here, 0.1369. So that is the square of 0.37. So again, you have 1.4. So remember, square of a number, we use the symbol power 2, raised to power 2. So we have 1.4 squared again. So this is 1.4 multiplied by itself, 1.4 once. So 1 decimal place here, you add another 1 decimal place, the total is 2 decimal places. So 2 decimal places will be the number of decimal places in the product. So we just multiply 14 by 14. So 14 by 14. So 4 by 4 is 16, 6 carry 1. 4 by 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So when multiplying by 1, I multiply by the total value of 1, which is 10. So multiplying by 10, I simply multiply by 1 and then add the 0. So what I'll do, I'll add the 0 first. So 1 by 4 is 4. And then 1 by 1 is 1. So you fill up the spaces left using zeros and then you sum up the two products. So 6 plus 0 is 6, 5 plus 4 is 9, and 1 plus 0 is 1. So what it means is that 1.4 squared is equals to 1.4 by 1.4, which is equals to 196. But now the decimal place is supposed to be 2. So this is where the decimal point will be. So it means the square of 1.4 should be 1.96. Again, you have 0.025 squared. So this is 0.025 times 0.025. So again, we have how many decimal places in the first number? 3. So 3 decimal places plus 3 decimal places. That is totaling to 6 decimal places. I just multiply 25 by 25 and then I must make sure that my final answer is having how many decimal places? 6. So 25 by 25. 5 by 5 is 25. 5 carry 2. 5 by 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. Now as I multiply by 2, I'm multiplying by the total value, which is 20. So multiplying by 20, again, I just multiply by 2 and then add the 0. So I'll just add the 0 first. Then, of course, 2 by 5 is 10. 0 carry 1. 2 by 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So if you add the two products, what you get is 5 to 6. So 25 by 25 is 625. So what I have is 0.025 by 0.025. Okay. So you start with 0.025 squared, which is equals to 0.025 times 0.025. So that is 625. So number of decimal places should be 6. So it means you have to write 0 and then you add 3 more zeros to fill up the spaces left so that you have 6 decimal places. So again, you have 0.0037 squared. So this is again 0.0037 by 0.0037. So how many decimal places do you have in the first number here? 4. So 4 dps plus 4 dps should be equal to 8 dp. So we know our first final number should have 8 decimal places. So I'll just multiply 37 by 37. So 37 by 3, 7 here. So 7 by 7 is 49, 9 carry 4. 7 by 3 is 21 plus 4 is 25. Multiplying by 3 here, I multiply the total value, which is 30. So multiplying by 30, I just multiply by 3 and then add 0. So I'll add the 0 first. And so 3 by 7 is 21, 1 carry 2. 3 by 3 is 9 plus 2 is 11. Fill up the spaces using zeros. Add the two products. So if you add the two products, what do you get? 9, 6, 3, 1. So what this means is that 0.0037 squared, which is equals to 0.0037 times 0.0037 should be equal to, so we have 1369. So you need to add a number of zeros that will give us the required number of decimal places, which is 8. So 0, 0, 0. We need to add 4 zeros. So we have 0.0000, 4 zeros, and then 1367. Remember, number of decimal places simply means the number of digits after the decimal point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is basically what you need to do. So we have some few questions here to help us practice, just to help you practice on the same thing that you have learned through this lesson. So that marks the end of the lesson. Until next time, goodbye.